Where's Kate?
Where did she go?
There's so many other things going on in the world that deserve that type of coverage too, but they just don't get it. Every platform has its own thing, and like let TikTok be like kind of the wild one.
That's what I was thinking. Like, what's gonna happen to the creators on there?
Yeah.
Their money.
It's kind of weird they want to censor what we're watching and everything. 50-50 podcast.
Hi everyone, I'm Yas.
And I'm Yel.
And welcome back to 50-50.
Yes, and while you're here, please don't forget to subscribe. We have new episodes every Wednesday, so just go ahead and hit that subscribe button.
So we're now back on our regular scheduled programming, like
Yeah.
we said last episode. And, Love is Blind is over. So sad. We didn't have anything to do on Wednesday.
Yeah, we didn't have a new episode to watch or anything. So,
yeah, but there's been, a lot of stuff still going on. And,
so much stuff going on in social media now that everybody's doing podcasts.
Yeah.
Like even Clay, I saw he was on a podcast recently. So there's been like a lot of like drama going on still with Love is Blind. But yeah, but we kind of close that chapter on recapping everything. But like we're saying, if anything really juicy comes out, like we'll talk about it.
Yeah,
too.
we'll talk about it. I mean, one thing that I heard about Love is Blind, just, so we can kind of close it off, is about Clay talking about 80's finances.
Yeah, something that I wish he would have said on the show. Like, why didn't he say it then?
Yeah, he said, and things have been coming out about AD, which is like she had a sugar daddy or she has a sugar daddy.
According to Clay's like best friend, because he like apparently his friend went on like Instagram and was like commenting on some of like, I don't know if it was AD's things or Clay's things. I don't know,
but like some weird stuff like that. And so that's why he was just like unsure of AD.
Right.
And how she gets her money. And he didn't really want a stay-at-home wife, like a housewife.
Right.
He wanted a partner, I guess.
Yeah, a partner and just somebody who's also works and everything, which, I mean, it's like actually, a commendable thing, I guess you could say about Clay, because he didn't want, like you're saying, he didn't want just a housewife. He wants a girl, a woman, a wife who is like also has her own goals and like things. He didn't want to just be the only person provider of the household. There you go. That's a good thing. Yeah. So
I mean, that's with a little update on the Love is Blind, and also with all of Jimmy and Chelsea.
Yeah.
Seems like they're dating. Some people are like, are they dating? Are they not? It's so confusing with them. That's just a little...
Yeah, just a little update on them.
Just a little update,
and if there's anything else juicy, we'll share it too. But yeah, so that's the, that's our Love is Blind kind of like... we're done with the Love is Blind like actual episode recaps, and now we're on to our regular scheduled programming, our regular stuff, regular topics, and we have some juicy topics for today that we want to talk about. But I wanted to also start off by just saying, like, I know we're like halfway through Ramadan, but we just didn't want to do any more episodes without just saying happy Ramadan Mubarak to everybody who celebrates. We are here too. We're fasting also, so as we're doing this episode, we are also fasting. So we're out here. I'm not that hungry yet, but thirsty for sure.
Thirsty, hungry,
tired. All the above, I know. But yeah, for those of you guys that don't know what Ramadan is, just to briefly explain, because we're not Islamic scholars or nothing like that, so like definitely Google, you can figure it out. But basically just it's a holy month, and it's just a month of fasting where you don't eat or drink for throughout the whole day. Like, so you eat when the sun sets all the way up until the sun rises. You can eat so the whole night basically you can eat. But it's also just fasting your brain, just like it's like a reset of your like emotions, your mind, everything, because it's just a time to concentrate on what's more important in life and not just focus so much on the little things, and also like just humble yourself a little bit, because there's so many people out here that can't eat at all. Like they don't have food throughout the whole day. They don't know when their next meal is. So we're even lucky that we're fasting and we have a meal to break our fast with at the end of the day.
Yeah, I mean, with everything going on in the world and everything, there's people that haven't had anything to eat or drink in days.
Yeah.
And they have no idea when they're going to eat again.
Exactly.
So being, so lucky enough that at the end of the day you're going to get a meal.
Exactly.
And you're going to have a meal after this holy month is over.
Right.
It's wonderful when other people
don't have
can't
that
say
luxury.
the same. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, so it's just something to like kind of humble ourselves a little bit. Just always remember what's important. Be charitable too. It's a good month to be charitable. Mm-hmm. You should always be charitable the whole year, but if there's any time that it's a reminder, it's like now is the time to give to charity. Just even if you see somebody on the street, I know it's controversial about like homeless people, but give them some money this month if anything.
We know that they're all struggling with some sort of problem,
right.
So in the end you're helping them out by some way.
Exactly. Hopefully they can get a meal or something.
At least
that's
a meal.
What we can hope for. But yeah, so that's all. We just wanted to say that a little bit. And yeah, so happy Ramadan to everybody. And if you're also fasting, we're right here with you. And yeah, hopefully watching this episode too will get you a little bit closer to time to break your fast. So hopefully it helps.
So that's one of the updates
about
Ramadan. And then another update on me is I had a little incident with my finger, with
Oh
my
my
pinky.
God, I know.
I smushed my finger in the car door, and I have this like, well, now it's kind of flat, but I had like a little lump.
Yeah, it was like it almost like it became a blister. It looks like, but it's not a blister. But
Yeah.
it was like really
Like
inflamed.
a raised, I don't know, it's here, it's on my pinky. It became like, it's like blood here.
Yeah, like a blood blister, I guess you could
Yeah,
call
I don't
it.
know what it is, but it hasn't gone away in a couple days. So
Yeah, and that was so painful.
it was so
Yeah.
painful because you have a lot of nerve endings on your finger.
Yeah.
I was crying. It hurt so
I
bad.
know. She was coming over to my house, and then we just opened the door and we're like, oh, like, we knew something happened because you were just like, like it was in so much pain.
I was in a lot of pain.
And it lasted for a pretty long time because, like you're
Yeah.
saying, like there's so many nerves on your fingers. So it's just like,
It
so
was painful. It was really painful. You know, I don't know. I've gone through other bigger things,
You're
but
right.
my pinky hurt so bad. And it hurt so bad for a couple of days.
I know. But thank goodness it's healing now. It doesn't really hurt anymore.
No,
does
it doesn't hurt.
Okay.
Now I can touch it, and it's flat now, and it like kind of the blood. It's kind of like going away.
Right. Yeah. It's like
But you know, it is what it is. I was in pain, so that's my little update.
of the week. I know. Same. And mine
the
really
week.
is just like Ramadan. It's
Yeah.
been top of mind for me. I've just been trying to get to bed earlier because you have
That's
to wake
hard.
up early in the morning to eat your meal. Like I have to wake up right now at 5 a.m. So to make sure I can eat and drink water and everything, and all before the sun rises. So just like the discipline, which is good for me. I feel like I needed that right now because I've been just so not disciplined with my sleep schedule.
Yeah.
So I'm like, this is helping me a little bit kind of be like, okay, go to sleep early. Then after I wake up, I'll eat breakfast and everything, and then hopefully get to sleep a few hours more when I have work. It's really hard, but
Yeah.
because I have to wake up early for work too. So yeah, it's just been kind of putting me in check, which I'm happy about. So
Yeah.
that is a highlight of my
It's
week.
nice, and then I like having our iftar parties.
Yeah,
that's so fun.
We do little iftar parties, which I think is so fun because you're, fasting all day, and one of the best things about like getting ready to break your fast is like cooking something. So
Yeah.
like our parents will be cooking, we help out too, and it's just so fun to like prepare your meal and everything, and then it's time to break your fast, and it's just I don't know. Then it's we have cake, we have like so
Yeah.
we just
We have a
celebrate
little party.
Yeah.
Or sometimes we also order
Yes.
something
Uh-huh.
or pick up something, so that's also fun too.
Yeah, that is fun because all I think about all day is food. To be honest, when I'm fasting, all I think about is food. I'm like, what am I gonna eat?
Yeah, what are we gonna eat? Everything sounds so delicious.
Oh my god, everything sounds so good.
But as you guys can see in the title,
Yeah.
we are gonna be talking about TikTok,
Yes,
the TikTok ban in Kate.
Yeah, where's Kate?
Where did she go?
What everybody has been asking. Like we got some answers now, but like we just want
Yeah.
to talk about that whole situation where like she was gone.
She had disappeared. Nobody had seen her since I think they said December
Yeah.
or something like that.
They knew that she went into she got an abdominal surgery in January.
Yeah.
But that was like all they said, and I think there was never really any. I might be mistaken, but I don't remember seeing any paparazzi shots of like her coming out the hospital or anything. So they just knew
Yeah.
she went in.
Right. Nobody knew where she was. The public was starting with all these conspiracy theories. Like one of them is she went in for like plastic surgery.
Right.
So she's recovering from plastic surgery.
And that's what I thought. I was like, this is probably when everybody was like, "Where's Kate? Where's Kate?" I was like, she probably got some type of plastic surgery done.
Yeah.
And she's just recovering at home. Doesn't want nobody to see her.
Yeah, I was thinking, she had 3 kids. Could it be maybe a tummy tuck that she
Right.
did? Or, like a little mommy makeover that's very popular
Right.
for people to do.
Yeah.
She has a lot of money.
Yeah.
So I was thinking maybe it could be that. And then it started coming out, hey, we haven't seen her at all. And now this Photoshop picture came out of her.
Yeah.
And then she goes and apologizes for being a bad photographer kind of
She's like,
situation.
I'm getting into photography, and part of photography is like editing, and like I'm not a good photo editor. And it's like, but why even? It was just
It was
all
weird.
adding to the weirdness of it.
Yeah, so then I was like, wait, I don't think she's recovering from plastic surgery.
Right.
I think something bigger is happening here that they're not saying.
Exactly. And then that video came out too, which is like recently a video came out of her and
William.
William walking down the street, like coming out of some store or restaurant or something. And I still don't know till this day if it's really her or not, but there was a lot of speculation from people who know the royals and everything. They were like, that doesn't look like her.
yeah.
That's not the way she walks.
They're like her jawline is different,
Yeah,
her
like her
forehead.
mannerisms.
Yeah.
They were thinking things were off about
Which
that.
I also saw it. I mean, I'm not a professional on, the royal family.
Right.
But she did seem a little more loose kind of walking than
Right.
Kate typically walks. I feel like she's more, stands upright.
Yes.
She's more like a little more
Yeah, she's more like, I feel like refined in everything that she
Yeah.
does because she knows that everybody's looking at her.
Right.
So she's always, I feel like, very like professional. She's very like, so
Yeah.
she even walks very straight. Like you're saying, like
Yeah.
we never see her in kind of a casual light.
Or even like moving her head too much or anything. She's always just like so, like, I don't know how else to say, but like she just stands up so straight, so
Right.
like princess like.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. And we're definitely not royal experts.
Yeah.
I don't usually keep up with the royal news or anything, but even this got my attention.
Yeah.
Because at first I was like, I thought it was plastic surgery, but then really all these little things started making it weird because I'm like, what are they trying to cover up?
Yeah, what are they hiding?
So that it really seemed like something crazy was going on. And then there was, I mean, the rumors went as far as to even say that people thought she was dead.
Yeah, they said, she probably just passed away after her abdominal surgery.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh my God, like the poor babies, because, she has 3
Right.
babies. They're
Yeah,
little.
they're still young.
I'm like, oh my God, like this is crazy. What is
Yeah.
happening? And everything, led up to her posting. I think was it on Instagram that she posted?
Yeah, I'm not sure if it was on Instagram or YouTube, but that's where I saw it. I saw it on Instagram.
Yeah,
so.
I saw it on Instagram too, that she posted, a video explaining that she went into her abdominal surgery.
Yeah.
And they thought everything was fine. And then, once, you come out of surgery, whatever it is that they find, I guess they send it to like pathology
labs.
or something like that. And they found out that it was cancerous, whatever it was that she had. I'm assuming maybe a tumor. I don't
That's
know.
what I'm
A
assuming too.
mass.
She doesn't say anything, but I'm guessing it's a mass that they removed. They had to have sent something over to test. So
Yeah.
I'm guessing it's a mass of some sort that she had in her abdomen. But there's so many questions. Like, is it her colon? Is it her stomach? Like, nobody knows. People were
Yeah,
saying her
what
uterus, even though they said abdominal surgery. But they're like, is
Right.
it in her uterus? Does she have a hysterectomy? Like,
I mean, could it be a gallbladder? I mean,
Right.
her kidneys. There's in your abdomen, there's just
there's so much going on there.
so many organs.
Exactly.
So what could it be? I don't know. I hope she's good. She
Yeah.
says she's going through chemotherapy, preventative chemo. That's what she's doing.
Yes, which sounds good. I mean, definitely cancer is never good at all, right? You don't want to have cancer at all. But I hope, just from her message, I hope, since she said it is like preventative chemo, I hope maybe what they found was like a cancerous mass, but maybe she herself doesn't have cancer. 'Cause that is a possibility. So I mean, hopefully it's that. But yeah, it's very up in the air. Like,
Yeah. What is it?
yeah, but I'm happy that she came out and said something, and I just think maybe even they realize now the power of like, if you like, the public is really looking at you guys, like especially
Yeah.
in the UK and everything. I think it's something that they're very aware of the royals and like everything. And I mean, even here in the US, I mean, we follow the royal drama and everything,
Yeah.
right? So I think she just had to come out and say that because everybody was just like,
What's going on?
ideas were going wild. Like everybody's mind was going wild. Like, what is happening to her? There's even that other rumor that I still don't know if this is confirmed or how this
Oh
started.
my gosh, yeah, how could I forget?
About, they were saying that William has a mistress.
Yeah, and because she found out of the mistress,
Yeah.
they were kind of holding her
Hostage, they said.
in a palace or whatever.
Yeah.
So she doesn't talk and say all these stuff because she was so angry and all these things. So she was
Right.
going to expose the royal family or something
Right.
like that.
And that's why they were holding her hostage. So that's another thing. But I don't know. I've been hearing so many rumors about that I hope that's not true because I don't, that would
Yeah, I
be so
hope
sad.
not.
But yeah, just so much there with that Kate. And it just, again, shows you how like the public really, like if you get together and everybody's like, they were demanding like, where's Kate? And look, we got an answer, right? So
Yeah.
it just shows you a lot, like the power of people. And that's also even just in protests and other, other stuff like political, whatever, we don't have to get into it. But
Yeah.
when people get together, you really end up demanding something, right? And if you
Yeah.
get together, that hopefully they end up giving you that demand or like even boycotting, companies. We see the results of that stuff and everything.
Right,
So
yeah,
it's
we
just
do.
the power of the people. We forget that we
It
do have a
is.
lot of power together.
Yeah. And you also see how crazy social media can be.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Because literally since nobody got the answer, right? We didn't see her, whatever. So people were going crazy with
yeah.
to the point that they were saying she's dead.
I know. I mean, I even saw Kim Kardashian. I think it's like maybe joking, but even Kim Kardashian was like, "Where's Kate?" Like they were. So it was just showing like the magnitude that this got because everybody was like, really invested in this. Like, okay, where is she now? Because of all those Photoshop pictures and everything, it was getting weird.
It was getting really weird, and people were now. Some people are even going to the extent of apologizing because they're like, "I'm sorry to Kate
Yeah.
that I was like questioning you when you're dealing with something so major in your home."
Yeah.
And forcing her to come out and say it. And people were also saying that she felt it seemed like she was really uncomfortable, saying her, what's happening to her.
Right. Yeah. She did seem uncomfortable, and And you're right. I mean, she's in all her right to just be resting at home, and it's a
Yeah.
difficult time. Can you imagine like getting that news? You don't want to get that news, and I guess even just her processing it. She
Yeah.
wasn't ready to go out into the public and just be
Yeah.
like, "This is what I have" or whatever. Because sometimes, honestly, you maybe don't even want to admit it to yourself. You're just kind of in
Yeah.
denial for a little bit. So, she had to take her time with it.
I think the palace also could have maybe helped her out so she didn't feel so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Maybe saying, just they could post it on Instagram or on Twitter,
Yeah.
X, whatever.
Yeah.
Saying something like, she's battling an illness or she's going through some kind of an illness, something so the public can kind of like settle down and say, okay, well, we got kind of an answer.
Right.
And she's okay. We know that she's okay. Something along the lines of that. So then it didn't fall directly onto her.
Exactly. Yeah, I think that would have been helpful because it got so out of line that like at this point I feel like we had to see Kate because nobody would have been satisfied if we didn't see her. So that's why I feel like they put out that video. But I think it would have helped earlier on if they would have just been like, because everybody was already questioning her abdominal surgery. They're like, what was the surgery? Like that was already stuff going around with that. So they could have even just said like, she's recovering from her abdominal surgery. Like she needs some time and, she'll get back to her stuff when she can or whatever. Like they could have done something.
They could have done something. Yeah. And also I think it's a major thing too is because, King Charles is also battling cancer. Yes. And that's another thing. People are saying that he's already dead too.
Oh God, really?
That's another conspiracy that is going around.
Yeah.
So I don't know, everything with the royal family.
So secretive.
So very secretive. I mean, that's just, I guess
it's the nature of it, but everybody always, there's just so many things about that I think your imagination can run wild with all the,
and there's so many conspiracies and like, once you get into the conspiracies, you're like, wait, what? And it's actually pretty interesting, the conspiracy theories.
And they get you.
They get you, yeah.
You're like, oh my God, like, I guess it could be because, it's just, it's, the conspiracy theories, they have a lot of like stuff to back it up usually, like a lot of proof, quote unquote, because I don't know if it's always real.
Is it real proof? I don't know. Should we do a conspiracy episode?
Oh my God, we probably should because there's some conspiracies that like, they're hard to say that they're that crazy. Sometimes they make a little bit of sense.
Yeah, so I don't know if we should or shouldn't do a conspiracy episode, but
maybe we will one time. Maybe
we'll throw it out there. Let's see what happens.
Yeah. So and with this whole Kate thing too, it just reminds me of like how much media coverage this got and how much over social media this was everywhere. Like everybody was talking about it, right? And it just reminded me of the submarine thing where we were like all talking about this submarine for like a week until they let us know that it, tragically, what happened, like it imploded and all that, which is so
almost
horrible.
Immediately.
Yeah, it happened immediately, but we were talking about it for a week because they didn't let us know, immediately. And I know they have their reasons and all that, but it just always makes me think, I'm like, it's just so kind of crazy how, I guess the media and even the public, what we choose to put our attention to, I guess, is to these things that sometimes like, is it like, was it something like a mystery? Like where is she? Like, yeah, it's a mystery. It's definitely intriguing. But there's so many other things going on in the world that deserve that type of coverage too, but they just don't get it. They don't get that kind of coverage. So it's always just, I feel like reminds me of how kind of unfair this world is a little bit.
Yeah. And you saying that reminds me, I forgot the name of it. Maybe we can search it up really quick. Remember the girl that went missing with her boyfriend?
Yes. Gabby Petito.
Gabby Petito.
Yes.
And that was also a big thing too.
It was
because
like nationwide coverage.
Everyone was like so interested. I was super interested in that. But that also got then like some backlash on it because they're like, what about when, a black woman goes missing?
Yeah. There was
Why isn't there coverage on that? A Spanish woman goes missing, a Middle Eastern woman goes missing, an Asian person goes missing.
Native Americans go missing a lot and nobody will talk about it. There's never news coverage on it.
What happens when those people go missing? So it is really interesting how the media or the news or however you want to say it, they choose a particular person always, and they do happen to be white that gets all the coverage, and then all the other races get thrown in the dark. And they say, if we would give as much attention to all the other races like we do to white, I'm saying white skin, I'm not talking about white Americans, I'm just saying light skinned people, right?
Right.
We would find missing people a lot faster, just like we did with Gabby Petito, right?
Yeah.
They found her pretty quick.
Yeah, they ended up finding her body pretty quickly and then realized like they were able to trace really quickly the whole case that, her boyfriend, intentionally or not, but, it was a homicide situation basically.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
And there's all these other cases that go, they stay a mystery and these families don't have answers ever.
Ever.
Never.
And
they have to be like chasing down the cops or whoever's helping them, the lawyers, whatever, whoever's helping them with these investigations,
and pushing and pushing and
exactly,
pushing for that,
because nobody like favors them. So it just does remind you of that, like you're saying, it's just unfortunate how this world still we have, like, depending on your skin tone, it depends how much they prioritize your life.
Yeah.
When
And
it's like everybody's life is valuable.
yeah. And in the case of the submarine, there were other races and everything. But
Right.
the reason they also had all that coverage is because they had the money.
Right.
They were all like millionaires, billionaires.
Millionaires and billionaires.
Inside of that submarine, which
Right.
is so tragic. What we're talking about is just so tragic.
Yeah, it's so sad. And all these cases are sad.
Yeah.
That's the thing, like, it's not to say that the lighter skinned people, it's not as tragic. It is just as tragic, but the point is not to diminish anybody. It's actually to treat them all the same with the same type of priority.
Yeah.
That it is that tragic for everybody. Doesn't
And
matter.
it is urgent. It's
Exactly.
all the urgency should be the same across the board.
Exactly. That's just, hopefully the world can get to that at some point, because I feel like we're all so knowledgeable nowadays, like, young people too, especially I feel like our new generation, I feel like we don't take a lot of these things anymore for granted. Like, we're not like kind of like, or not for granted, I don't know if that's the right word, but you know what I mean? Like, we're not just like, oh yeah, like, they're only talking about the light skinned people. And we're like, what about these people? So anyways, the point is, like, I feel like with social media, we are not letting these things slide by as much anymore. Like with the Guy Petito case, we were like, okay, what about, people came out and were like, what about this, lady? What about this other person?
Like I said, this could be a great topic because like conspiracy stuff and all that.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
It is interesting.
But also brings us to our next topic, talking about, social media and everything, like how we're like this younger generation, we're not letting things just like slip by. And a big source of our news now and everything is TikTok.
It is TikTok, yeah.
TikTok is, we have Instagram too, of course. Facebook, to be honest, I feel like the younger generation, I don't even think about Facebook anymore,
I don't even have Facebook because I feel like it's for grandparents.
That's what it like turned into. All the parents got involved in like aunties and uncles, and it's like it's not for the youth anymore, is what it feels like.
Yeah.
But yeah, and with TikTok, this whole TikTok ban, we wanted to talk about it because
it's crazy.
It's crazy. Like, what are your thoughts on it? I have my thoughts too. Like, I mean,
I think it's just to kind of censor what we see, because they say that the things that we're seeing are just so they're not censored through TikTok, and we get a lot of information and a lot of different point of views and stuff from all over the world. So I think it's maybe too open. They think it's too open for us, and so they kind of want to censor it, and since they can't, they're just going to ban it here.
In the US, yeah. And
kind of reminds me of like China, because China also does something like that too to their people. I don't think they can go on YouTube or something like that.
Yeah. China has their, they are, I guess, a communist country technically. I don't know if that's the right term exactly, but so they censor like Google and stuff like that. There's like a lot of sites they can't go on. And yeah, so it feels very weird for the US, because we are, the land of the free, we're freedom of speech, all this stuff. So it's kind of weird that they want to censor what we're watching and everything. And I get it to a certain degree, because I agree with censoring as far as age, right? Like maturity and everything. Yeah. 100%. Like take away all the nudity, right? In TikTok. But that's not really what they're talking about, I think.
No.
Yeah. And so I have multiple thoughts on this, because one, I don't think it's going to go through the TikTok ban. They talked about it so many times.
Yeah.
So I really don't think it's going to go through, but I don't know. This time it seems to be more real than the other times. So that's one thing. But then, yeah, second, a lot of people are saying that they are wanting to just censor what, like you're saying, what we see, because on TikTok people are exposing a lot of things that other social media platforms don't let you show. Because Instagram, we all know how heavily
it's so
censored.
Yeah,
that is.
they always have those like little banners and things, just like on other platforms. Be careful. This is like fake, or I don't know exactly what it says. I'm not sure.
And they control a lot, like the stuff that's suggested to you. It's very controlled. Facebook too. Everybody knows, like, that's probably the most censored one, right? Like, I don't know. So it's just, TikTok is kind of the place where you go and like people are like more unhinged, I guess you could say, and like sharing their opinions without being scared of being reprimanded by the algorithm.
And you get live videos, honestly, from things that are happening in the world that are major right now.
Right.
And we get to see it almost as if it was firsthand, because literally they're recording and we're watching.
Exactly. And yeah, and TikTok, for real, I wouldn't say that I'm the biggest fan of TikTok, right? I like TikTok, but I always do tend to go to Instagram more. But what I do like about TikTok is how I just feel like there's this like whole generation, right? Of like, I guess it's Gen Z also, but the millennials too, they're on TikTok too. The more younger millennials, right? Maybe
Right,
not the
yeah.
ones, because I know the millennials spans all the way to the 80s. That's a whole other thing. I don't
That's
feel
weird.
like they're the same as the younger millennials. But yeah, anyways, I like this generation because they're just like, I feel like, we're young adults and everything, but there's a lot of commentary even on politics and stuff like that. So it's a news outlet for us almost. So we get different people's opinions and everything. And I think like that's part of the reason, and that's what people are saying, that why they want to ban it, because they just want to have more control over what people are saying. And for example, even these conspiracy theories, like these wild things, like
Oh, on TikTok, there's a million conspiracy theories. We should do
Exactly.
conspiracy theories based off of TikTok.
yeah, 'cause you can go into that whole like realm, like conspiracy TikTok,
Yeah.
side of things. And yeah, and so I just don't even know like with the ban, like what's that gonna look like? I don't know. I don't know what it's gonna look like. Like, is it gonna just be another Instagram, another Facebook? Because I'm like, that's so boring.
Are
We
they going
don't-
to just ban the whole thing? We just can't log into TikTok.
Yeah, I don't know what the exact rules are, but I think whatever they're proposing is like it's gonna be banned in the U.S., but it's unless like the U.S. is able to buy it because it's owned by a Chinese company right now. So I think it's like unless that's like their rules. Like if the U.S. can buy it and put their regulations, then we can still have it. Again, just sounds
That's
fishy.
just crazy. Yeah, it's just weird.
Yeah, it's like why can't we see everything that's out there in the world? Like I said, please filter for the nudity and stuff like that. All that stuff that's
Yeah, what about filter for
inappropriate.
inappropriate?
Yeah.
What about inappropriate usage of like words even? Like why do you have to be cursing and stuff like that? Why don't
Right.
they censor that stuff?
Right, exactly. So I feel like that's what they should focus on more. But yeah, so that's how this whole ban. Let's see if it really happens. A lot of the TikTokers are worried about it. I've been seeing some people on TikTok
Yeah.
that that's their only TikTokers. Like that's their main platform, their main source of
Right.
income and everything.
And that's what I was thinking. Like, what's gonna happen to the creators on there?
Yeah.
Their money.
Yeah, I mean it'll be a big shift, but I think they'll be fine. 'Cause I think they'll gravitate to another platform.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
So now you know how YouTube is so saturated.
Yeah.
And now if all the TikTokers they're gonna go onto Instagram or YouTube or both.
Right.
Like, what's gonna happen? Is
Yeah.
YouTube gonna come back alive?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, but I love YouTube.
I love YouTube.
Yeah, I am a hardcore YouTube fan always. But yeah, I feel like that would be. I mean, I feel like if I was the other platforms, it'd be a good time to like start giving out deals. Like, be like, hey, come over here. Like,
Yeah.
they're gonna have to. I feel like my point is they're gonna have to give out some good numbers. Like, they're gonna have to pay them pretty good because they're gonna want to get paid as much as they got paid on TikTok. And like,
Yeah.
I don't know the exact numbers what people get paid, but I hear it's good.
I mean, people live off of TikTok money.
Right,
so-
exactly. And they are solely TikTok. Like they go either live or just posting or whatever,
Yeah.
combination of both, all that. But that's that's how they buy their houses, their cars, everything. So it's
That's how they live.
giving some good money.
Yeah. Well, something has to happen. I'm not sure what exactly, but it's in a certain stage right now, the whole TikTok ban. So when we figure it out, also what's going on, if are they going to ban it or not, we will
Yeah.
see what happens.
We'll see what happens. But I hope they don't end up banning it, of course, and I hope they don't end up censoring it because
Yeah,
like
I
I was
hope
saying
not.
earlier, it's just like every platform has its own thing, and like let TikTok be that one. Let TikTok be like kind of the wild one. That's what I feel
Yeah,
like it is.
there's
right now.
always a little bit of a wild one.
Yeah.
Even in like families, there's always that one wild child.
Exactly. Yeah. So let it be that. I think there's a lot of stuff going on in the world, and they only want us to see one side. And TikTok is kind of showing us this other side, and they don't want us to see the whole well-rounded picture. When you need that context to make up your mind for different things going on around the world. You can't just see it from one lens. You have to take a look from the other person's side too.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people who only get their news from American news outlets and whatever, but there's so many people here in America, and it's a land of immigrants, right?
Right.
So when you are, especially like us, our parents are immigrants and everything, we see news from other places of the world too. Mm-hmm. Because, for example, our mom, she's Hispanic. We see Hispanic news coverage where they talk about other things that they don't talk about in the American
Right, yeah.
news channels. They just don't because, they have to focus on their stuff, I guess. And, the Latin news, they'll focus on Latin issues, right?
Right,
So-
different stuff. And they have people even from the novelas, right, that they focus on that. American news
Exactly.
will never focus on that.
Yeah, and it makes sense. So it's like if you're from different parts of the world, you see different things because there's so much going on in the world. You can't know everything about the whole world, right?
Right.
And so also like we have our dad, he's from the Middle East. So we get a lot of Middle Eastern news too. So
Yeah.
and we see it from that perspective. So we are lucky enough and people like us are lucky enough to kind of see those multiple different, diverse perspectives. But I feel like for the people who don't have that, TikTok is kind of like that because you can
Yeah.
see people from all around the world, and even other platforms too, right? But right now we're talking about TikTok, but YouTube too. Instagram
Yeah,
too, like
yeah,
you're able to
yeah.
see. I just feel like I don't like this ban at all because I'm like, let people see the stuff from other places of the world too. It's informative. It's good for you to have.
Yeah, it's good for you to see.
perspective like
Also,
that.
some people even going about like traveling and stuff. Some people
Yeah.
can't travel to other countries, or maybe they're
Exactly.
scared to go on a plane, and you get to see things from other countries and other accents and just how other people live.
Yeah.
Like, why ban something that is,
It's educational, too.
educational? Yeah, educational. It's fun. Like, what are we gonna do with our dancing? How are we gonna find our dances?
What's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? Because TikTok really brought this whole all these little dance trends and everything. So,
Yeah.
what's gonna happen now if we don't have it?
All these little like clips from like different music going back to like God knows when.
Yeah. All these songs, like I feel like all the songs that I know nowadays is because they went viral on TikTok.
Yeah, I mean, I only know a specific part of all these different songs because they're viral on TikTok.
We only know that part, and then when you
Yeah.
hear the whole song, you're kind of disappointed too because you're like, oh, like I like just that part. Of
Yeah.
it. So, but anyways, yeah. So we'll see what happens with this
Yeah,
TikTok
we'll
ban.
see.
I don't really know what's next. I'll have to read up more on it, but
Yeah.
I know that it's in like it's in talks about what's
Yeah,
gonna happen to it.
is.
So
And the creators and their money. That's what I'm just so curious about that.
like if this ban really goes through, that is gonna be like what
That's
I'm gonna
gonna
be
be
like.
major.
I'm gonna keep my eyes peeled. I'm like, where are they go? What are they doing? Like all
Yeah.
that stuff. So, so yeah, that is really that is the news of right now. Everything
Yep.
that's been on our like feeds right now. All this, the media has been talking about that. All the social platforms have been talking about this so much. I feel like.
Yes, that they have been. And I want to mention this before we close it out.
Yeah.
The Real Housewives of Potomac.
Yes. Oh my god.
I think they had their reunion already.
If it's not done, I know at least they had the first part.
I think they recorded it is
Right.
what I mean.
Oh yeah. They'd already recorded it.
And they already like came out with their like how they were dressed and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I saw, so that's gonna be pretty interesting to see
Yeah.
what happens there.
I love the Real House of Potomac, and Karen. She recently even got like a DUI because she.
Poor Karen. I love Karen
Me
though.
too.
'Cause
I love Karen.
she is like a grandma, but she gets there with the ladies, with the younger ladies.
Yes.
She's all in there, and I like it.
I love Karen. I love the way that she is, and I
like
love
her
that
energy.
she kind of like makes them respect her.
Yeah.
And I like that because they should respect her. She is. I mean, she is older than them, and
Yeah.
like you're saying, she's older than them, but she has such a young energy. She is funny. I love her.
I really like Karen a lot.
Yeah. Yes.
I want to see what happens at the reunion, and I think Beverly Hills is also coming to an end.
Yeah, I need to keep up. I
haven't kept up
especially
either.
because of Love Is Blind. I feel like I kind of spent all my time that I would spend watching TV on that.
Yeah.
But now we need to get back into our Real Housewives because I love the Real Housewives. They just make me happy. I like watching that
I
show.
like it. I love watching it, and I love seeing like their homes and like where they go, their little vacations that they do, because Beverly Hills, they have money.
They do have money, and their drama. The drama is always good because
Their drama's crazy.
I mean, it's stuff that's so unimportant in the world, but it's fun
It takes
to
you away from
see.
reality.
Exactly.
That's the thing. You just kind of like sit and relax.
Exactly. That's what I love about it.
Yeah.
Seeing other people's drama. I don't know how that's relaxing, but it's relaxing.
Because it's not yours.
It's not your drama, so you don't have to worry about it. And it's like their problems are so not even real. Like
It's not real
issues.
problems.
Yeah, exactly. But
It's all like, for fun and games too, because they're making that stuff up too.
yeah, they're exaggerating things for
Yeah.
the show, but
It's
yeah,
fun. It's fun to watch.
It's fun to watch.
Why do you think people love Love Is Blind this season? Season 6,
Exactly.
because people love the drama.
The drama. I mean,
Drama
that's why
sells.
people are calling it the best season because
Yeah.
of the amount of drama that they had in it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like now as viewers too, we want drama every single episode. Like we can't have a calm episode.
Yeah, a calm episode is like, wait, that's like a filler episode. It's so
Yeah,
boring.
Exactly.
But anyways, thank you guys so much for stopping by here.
And don't forget to subscribe. We'll see you guys next Wednesday with our next episode.
Bye.
Bye.